All right, hello FLEFC family. Checking in with you midweek. I know I don't usually do that, but there are some things you need to know. Things that are just around the corner. There are some things that some of you have been asking questions about. So we want to make sure that you have the information that you need. First off, this Sunday, it is a sharing Sunday. So you're going to want to sign in through the Zoom link that we send you a few minutes before 10 so that we can start at 10. And just like our other sharing services, this is an opportunity for you to share the lessons or the experiences, maybe some stories. Maybe you want to share a verse or a passage, something that God is doing through you and in you. To move you to seek God, to seek growth, to seek good. Our sharing services are always a meaningful time to look forward to, but also our Zoom gatherings over this season have been meaningful. And so that's going to be a good time to be together. This Sunday is also Communion Sunday. So you are going to be on the hook to provide the elements for your own home. Whether that's bread or crackers or grape juice or wine, whatever that looks like for you, we want to invite you to that. Make sure you're prepared in that way. And lastly, we just want to encourage you to prepare yourself for a meaningful experience of remembering Christ's sacrifice, his gospel impact. We can take communion for granted. And I pray that you find time to just prepare yourself to not do that this Sunday. The second thing, home church. In your Sunday home church experiences, we are encouraging you to bubble up. When this COVID-19 season hit, we were not allowed at all into each other's homes. And since then, things have loosened up. And so we want you to be careful, and we want you to be caring. But we want you to strongly think about who you will invite over to your home for home church, to worship together and pray together and talk together. The other thing you can do is take a page out of Julie Boney's book and invite yourself over to someone else's house. Julie has made that acceptable now in our church. But this is a chance for us to look that much more like the early church. This is how they met. They gathered in households, not just with their blood relatives, but they would invite each other into homes and worship and do church and be the church together. So what will that look like for you? Our third thing, I think I left it back here, our letters from lockdown reading plan. We have provided this as a way for you to seek God and growth throughout the summer. Paul wrote 4 letters from house arrest. And this reading plan through July and August takes you through all 4 letters, average of about 4 to 7 verses a day, so not very many. One thing that I love about this reading plan is that once you get through every 2 chapters, at the end of those 2 chapters, there's a highlight day. And that's a day where you just pray and look back at the last few days of what you've read and just revisit what God has been saying and doing. Every day, there are the same questions that allow you to reflect on the passage for transformation. What does God tell us about himself in this reading? That's a seeking God question. Seeking growth. What does this reading tell us about people, whether that's ourselves and or others? What is something I can take from this reading and live out today? We want this to be about not just information, but transformation. And then the seeking good question is, what is something from this reading that I will share with someone else? That I will share with someone else. We're encouraging you that every day you take something, and it could just be that you share it with someone in your home. But the other thing you could do is if you find someone who will read this with you, each day that you check in with each other. And maybe it's just a quick text or a phone call to say, this is what I appreciated about today's reading. This is a question I had from it. So whatever that might look like, encourage you to find ways to not only make it a rhythm in your own life, but get into the rhythm of making God's word a part of your conversation with others in the church. The last thing, and we've talked a bit about this, Reappearing Church is a book that we're encouraging you to join us in reading. When I say join us, our board and our staff are going to be reading through this. Sometimes we ask the question, why books? Like, why not just the Bible? I've got that question before. Ephesians 4 says that God has given some people to be teachers. And we believe that reading books are a means of accessing the teaching and the teaching giftings of those that God has gifted. And so, this is going to become more of a rhythm where we're going to recommend books and encourage the reading of them. Reappearing Church, right from the introduction, I posted this on social media, but it says this book is not written for everyone. I have spoken often and written much in the past for the unsure, the cynical, those with one foot in the world and another in the church. This book, however, I write for those hungry after God, those desiring to see him move again with power, those with a holy discontent, those who long for his presence to invade their lives, their churches, their cities, and their nations. I got really excited as I read through that this week. The book itself encourages you to read it with others. This book provides questions. So again, this is a cool one-anothering opportunity. We have copies available at the church for you. We don't have a ton of copies right now. If demand exceeds what we have, we'll order more. But don't order it online. Get it through us because we will provide it for, while asking you to provide $10 to help cover the cost rather than you paying the full cost. That's just another way of us encouraging you to be involved with this. So I think that's it. Your need to knows. If you have any questions, contact us at the church, or you can contact me directly about any of these things. And whether you're looking to be put in touch with someone that you can do some of this stuff with, or you have other questions, we would love to hear them. Looking forward to Sunday. We'll see you then, and thanks for listening.